2022, and we're going to call this meeting to order. It has been duly posted as required by state law. I do see that we have Commissioner Lopez is not in attendance today, but we still do have a quorum. And we're going to get started with the invocation. Commissioner Mesmer, if you can please stand.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear God, save thy people and bless thine inheritance. Please have mercy upon the travelers, the sick, the suffering, the prisoners, those at war, those who hate us, those who love us, those who are missing, and the families of the missing. Have mercy upon us all. Amen.
Amen.
Now the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The conflict of interest, Mark?
Under state law, a conflict of interest exists if a council member or certain members of that person's family has a qualifying financial interest in an agenda item. Members with a conflict of interest cannot participate in the discussion nor vote on the agenda item. Are there any known conflicts of interest to disclose at this time?
None.
None.
Nope.
None.
Great. Amanda, do we have anyone signed up for citizen communication?
Yes, ma'am, we do. The first one is Motley Medley, and I don't know if he's present or not.
You can come up to the podium, sir.
I'm just going to wait on the agenda item
Okay, what number?
9.
Thank you. Anyone else, Amanda?
Yes, we have Raymond Reyes. I think he's on that.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, Mayor Raymond Reyes, 706 Nantucket Drive. So, as always, I know it's always a work in progress. Have been noticing some things. I recently did an event, the Liverpool thing by the Beatles. Went very, very well. It's always a pleasure to have those guys out there and stuff. They come to me to go ahead and get a temporary permit and sell alcohol to the masses that go out there. It's always a good thing for the city and stuff. But one thing that I did notice, and I talked with Sergio about it, using the Wi-Fi in that particular facility. Wi-Fi is very good in the facility itself, but when you go into the concession stand area, because of all the metal and those metal shutters that go down, it just kills it. So we had to jump on and using my hotspot so we could process credit cards, because a lot of people weren't paying cash, they were using their card and stuff. Other aspects in some of the parks, the range that you would think you would be able to get Wi-Fi in certain areas, you really can't. So, of course, it's always a work in progress. I think as long as we stay on top of those things, we can sort them out. Some of the individuals that I know that have utilized that facility at the Municipal Auditorium were basically telling me the same thing, and it's one of the reasons why they haven't actually come back to do things, because of the limitations of if they're trying to process credit cards when they're doing concessions, they really can't. So I think that facility is underutilized, could be utilized for a lot of different things. Another thing that I noticed while I was out there is the lighting. What I do for my businesses, because I don't like to pay light, it's already expensive as it is, I use dusk till dawn lights. So we're in a part of the Texas that there's a lot of sun. Those dusk till dawn lights absorb the sunlight, and they come on when the sun goes down, and they stay on the whole night. Some of mine have cameras and sensors attached to them, so they can follow motion. And I think that in certain areas, if that could be implemented, it would not add anything to the cost as far as light goes, and they're very cost-effective. You know, the ones I get are very durable and stuff. I think another thing might be to continue with the districts, what the commissioners are doing to get insight of what the citizens see and notice. I think that that's a good thing. We should keep that going, in my opinion. And also the coffee with the mayor was a good thing. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend that. I wanted to, but I just was dealing with, you know, these hackers hacking away on doing what they do. So I think maybe something like that for maybe at a different time frame in the afternoon or in the evening when people are actually off would be good, so more people can come out and stuff. Would be a good way to get more insight. I also think that we definitely need to work on our internet situation because some of the other stuff that I attended, some of the citizens did state that they didn't have good internet services where they were living at. And I know, like I said, it's always a work in progress. But as long as we're moving forward to do that, then I think it's a good thing. And I think we'll get where we need to be. It just takes time and effort. That's all it takes. I know. That's what I've been doing all my life. That's basically all I have, and I don't even know what's on the agenda. I just wanted to come out and do what I do. But thank you very much for your time, and, you know, let's just keep the positive vibes going. Thank you. You all have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Reyes. You're always welcome.
Then we have one more, Mayor. It's Abel Castañeda, and that's on item number 9.
Is Abel? Here, there, come on. If you, item number 9? Okay,
Mayor, we were going to recommend that we table item number 9.
yeah. So we have, I know there's 2 people here for that item. We are going to table that item, and so just so that way you know, if you're welcome to stay to the rest of for the rest of the meeting, but I know that is something that we're going to do. If you would like to provide your comments, you're welcome to, or at the next meeting when we take up that agenda item.
Do you have the reason why you're tabling it?
Gabe?
We were asked by one of the commissioners from that district to table the item. He received some concerns about increased crime in the area, so he asked for some police reports to actually refute the fact that this organization, or actually any organized sport, will actually increase crime. So he just wants those crime data to show that this kind of activity will not increase crime, but actually try and reduce it. So, and he's not here today, so that's why he asked us to do that.
But again, you're more than welcome if you'd like to comment now or when we take up the item at the next meeting. That way they can do their due diligence and we can have a better informative discussion. But like I mentioned, would you like to? Okay, all right. Thank you, gentlemen.
That's it, Mayor. No more.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, moving on to item number 1, presentation of the 2022 5-Star Award from the Texas Department of Vital Statistics Department to the Harlingen Vital Statistics staff. Christina?
Hello, Mayor, Commissioners, and our audience. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We have some very special guests who received a 5-star award from the state. I'd ask them to please stand as they are being recognized at this time. We have Interim Health Director Shannon Harville, Local Registrar Crystal Ortiz, Deputy Registrar Gabriela Montoya, Deputy Registrar Priscilla Garza. So these individuals are in charge, of course. They are part of the health department and they are in the Vital Statistics Division. In the Vital Statistics Division, they process birth and death records, and because of their commitment and their service to this community, they exceeded the 96% rate of processing these birth and death records. So because of that, they received the 5-star Gold Award from the State of Texas Department of Health and Human Services. So the mayor and city commissioners are recognizing them today for their commitment and their service to the citizens of Harlingen. They process hundreds of birth and death records throughout the year, and this award recognizes them for all that they did in the year 2022. So how about a round of applause for our Vital Statistics Department? We'd like to invite them to join us up front, where they will receive the award, and also I'd like to get a quick photo of everyone.
Ladies, please step forward, and I do want to take a moment just to congratulate you and reiterate everything here that Christina mentioned. We are extremely proud of all of the hard work that you've done, and you've really set yourself apart from the rest, right? And so we're really pleased and very proud, and thank you for your hard work. And if we can get a picture with the entire commission.
And keep on not processing my district. That would be appreciated.
Congratulations, ladies. Thank you. Very well Thank you. Thank Moving right along, we'll move on to item number 2, approval of minutes, regular minutes of the December 7th, 2022 meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
Mayor, on item 9, I wanted to just make sure that, well, I want to make an amendment. I want to make sure that on Camino Real, I was requesting 2 speed humps, not just 1. I don't know if we have to bring it out for that or how it would work.
On item number 9?
I'm sorry, G. I'm sorry. I'm blind.
Okay, so we'll move on to that one. That's on the consent agenda, but right now we're on item 2.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. The minutes, are there any amendments or changes to the minutes? If not, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, ma'am. Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Now, on to the consent agenda. You want to remove, is that right?
Yes, G.
Commissioner? G? Okay, so we will take G out of the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve items A through F?
Motion. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. And now, item 3G, consideration and possible action to approve the installation of speed humps along El Camino Real between Russell Lane and Stewart Place, 1200 South 3rd, East Van Buren Avenue between 10th and 11th Street, between St. Anthony's Catholic Church and school buildings. And Commissioner, I did have them add, and I kind of piggybacked on yours on the Van Buren. Is that the concern?
No.
No? Okay.
No. No, my concern, I just wanted to verify, I just wanted to make sure that it was, notated that I'm requesting for 2 speed humps on El Camino Real. That's the only,
Got it? All right. Craig Cook says we're good to go. So any other changes or discussion? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And on to new business. Item number 4, consideration and possible action to authorize the city manager to award a task order to Tetsi under the master services agreement awarded under RFQ number 2023-05, professional engineering services for street lighting and traffic signal projects to provide engineering services to design the Texas Department of Transportation Dixieland Road Street Safety Lighting Project. Craig?
Evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Craig Cook, Assistant City Manager. We have discussed several times the construction of street safety lighting along Dixieland Road between Garrett Road and FM 1479, otherwise known as Rangerville Road. which is being funded by the TxDOT 2021 HSIP program. City manager has already been authorized to execute the advance funding agreement, and we still await receipt of it. City Commission approved the selection of TETSI for this program, for this project, and 2 traffic signal intersections later on, back in January. When we got that approval, we signed the MSA. It's been fully executed. And then we gave a request for proposal to TETSI for this Dixieland Road work. We received that on the 12th of January, and negotiations were conducted on January 17th. TETSI's final design fee is $55,130. The staff, during proposal preparation, TxDOT provided some advice and counsel on some additional documents that they would require because of the program requirements. So not only did the staff estimate for the design get increased a bit, TETSI's proposal also reflected those additional documents. Staff also estimated the construction costs a little higher. We added some inflation for a new amount of $443,675. When we do get the AFA, we expect it to tell us that the city will be responsible for any overages over the approved $410,000, but we will address that in the fall when we put this out for bid. The design services need to start this month so that they can be finished and the program can be let in August. We will get 100% construction drawings hopefully by no later than June 1st. So the staff recommends approval of award of a task order in the amount of $55,130 and a period of performance of February 2nd to July 31st of this year.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 5, consideration and possible action to authorize the city manager to sign a memorandum of understanding with the RGVMPO and provide partial funding for the preparation of FM 509 corridor study commissioned by the RGVMPO. Craig?
Again, Craig Cook, Assistant City Manager. Each year, the RGV MPO asks for member cities and counties to seek technical services from the MPO, and we did that. We started that discussion in 2021, and then we formally requested assistance from them in March of last year, to do what's called a corridor study of FM 509 from US 281, which is down by the bridge, up to I-69E, which is what we thought we could afford. That study will collect traffic data, evaluate traffic impacts for the tremendous growth that we've seen and will see on FM 509. And it'll provide recommendations for roadway expansion, additional right-of-way, signal improvements, improved drainage, and other suggested improvements, bike lanes perhaps, that sort of thing. I was a member of the subcommittee for the MPO that selected the designer. We recommended TETSI. The policy board approved TETSI last week. And so now is the time to write an MOU between the city and the MPO to provide these technical services. And that's why we're here. MPO will fund $200,000 of the $250,000 fee. We will pay the other $50,000, and that was agreed upon long ago. But that was not a surprise to us. We knew we would have to have a bit of a cost share. So the staff recommends authorizing the city manager to sign the MOU that you have in your packet and to fund $50,000 for this corridor study.
Wonderful. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The stretch of 509, how much of this is in the county? How much of it is in the city of Harlingen city limits and San Benito?
For this segment from US 281 to I-69E, it's all in the city,
All the city of Harlingen?
yes. Depending on the information that we get in the study, from the report, perhaps in a follow-on year, we may ask for a similar study from 69E north to the airport, past the airport, but that remains to be seen.
Are we sure about that, Gabe?
Yes, we have 509. San Benito has the city limits south of 509.
South of 509
Yes.
is ours.
No, south of 509 is San Benito's. We have everything north of 509. Well, we annexed the strip of 509 all the way up to 281, so we have that.
Yeah,
How
go-
far,
that section.
how far east or west do we go on 509?
Well, we go
All the way
west.
to Rangerville Road and beyond?
That section of 509 just covers pretty much 509. It's a strip. We did that when Brownsville was annexing towards the north. We actually annexed the strip south of 509 just to keep Brownsville from getting any closer. We then had to de-annex that section because of an agreement we have with San Benito that we wouldn't annex anything south of 509. So that's how we have just 509. We don't go south of 509.
This is what we approved at the MPO in the meeting from last week, Frank.
Yeah, I just,
Commissioner?
Yeah,
I was just curious.
This will be an MPO contract with TEDC. We're just providing
A little skin in the game.
a little skin in the game, exactly. A portion of the funding, but the MPO asked to have an MOU between the city and the MPO to memorialize the agreement.
Wonderful. I think we had a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
Item number 6 is a public hearing to consider an ordinance on first reading for a rezoning request for multifamily residential district to general retail district for 2.9 acres out of Block 1 of the S.H. Bell subdivision located at the southwest corner of Tyler Avenue and M Street, and the applicant is Aldo Garcia, Sames Incorporation, I'm sorry. And this is a public hearing, so we will at this time, I'm sorry, did you want to speak? I'm just
Well,
really excited about it. We're ready to go.
I have this presentation.
Go ahead.
So this is the property at the southwest corner of M and Tyler. As you know, Tyler is one of our biggest commercial corridors. For some reason, this property was zoned a multifamily. It makes no sense. So we're trying to rectify that today. That's the aerial photo of the property. Picture from the street. In the land use plan, the comprehensive plan, it calls for commercial. This went before the Planning and Zoning Commission on January 25th, and no one spoke in opposition, and they recommended approval unanimously.
Thank you, Javier. So yes, I agree that this is definitely commercial area. We're going to go ahead and open up the public hearing. Is there anyone here that wishes to speak for or against? Please, if you can identify yourself and.
Yes. My name is David Garcia. I live on 521 South M, across the street from the request of the area that wants to be rezoned. And the gentleman mentioned that at one time, it's a multi-family zoning, and he doesn't know why it was zoned that way. The reason is there was families there. There was houses all the way to Tyler Street on that plan. There isn't anymore. It's just monte, just grass and trees, mesquite trees. But the reason I request it for not to be approved and for it to stay a continuous multifamily is because there's continuous traffic on that on M Street, a lot of vehicles go fast. They even drive on the shoulder. Just having more retail or having retail establishments, I think would increase the traffic. And to me, there's been times that I'm driving on M Street, I'm going to drive into my driveway, and there's cars trying to pass me on my right side as I'm going in. They even honk at me. So it's a safety concern. And I do have to apologize. I was confused as to the dates of this meeting. I thought this was the first meeting, and actually it was last week, so I missed it. So I do apologize for that. But that's what my concern is. It's just a safety hazard. It's only a matter of time before somebody gets hit, gets hurt, car wrecks, just too much traffic, people having no regards for safety of others. So I do thank you.
Thank you, sir. And you said Mr. Garcia? Did I
Yes,
catch that
correct.
right?
No-
And 521?
South End, correct, by 21. And no relation to, correct, no relation to,
Understood.
yes.
Thank you. We
So-
appreciate your comments.
Yeah, I do hope you can reconsider this and take appropriate action.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak for or against?
Hi, Mayor. Hi, Commissioners. Beverly Loftus with the Harlingen Economic Development Corporation. I am here today to speak in support of the rezoning request brought before you tonight. Allowing the rezoning will support future commercial development of the site along Tyler Avenue, which is a commercial corridor in the city. Rezoning aligns with best planning practices and the property's highest and best use. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners and Mayor. My name's Julio Carranza. I'm the developer with Carranza Development. We've been looking at this project almost maybe 6 to 8 months, maybe a year, actually. And we're very, very excited to get this going. Rezoning is part of the process. It's going to be a very exciting project, and I think the commission and the city is going to be very happy that we brought this forward. And I'm open to any questions. Thank you.
Does anyone have questions for Mr. Carranza?
Well, I was just trying to, because I saw the picture, but it went by real fast.
Can we go put it back?
Is this the empty lot that's like the area right across from Jack in the Box?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure. Okay.
It's right east to Golden Corral.
And I've always wondered why that was, I mean, you have all the development around, and then that was always just,
Well, it's ready to go. It's exciting.
you already know what you're going to bring?
Yes, sir. We have an NDA. We can't disclose that now,
Okay.
but it's a national chain, both of them. Yes, sir.
Does M Street qualify for speed humps? I mean, is it a reason why we couldn't enhance the traffic safety issue there?
It is a neighborhood, part of it going towards the west side, there are some homes there.
I mean, where the gentleman that spoke in his area?
Yeah, could probably look at it.
I don't think
Yeah.
it'd be too wide.
Could we maybe do a study to see the needs?
We could do the data, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I do appreciate the Mr. Garcia coming out, but I will say that that area has been vacant for quite some time, and I had an opportunity to visit with Mr. Carranza, and I think that his vision for that area is what's needed. It's been empty, like you mentioned, for a very long time. Being able to provide additional businesses that can be frequented by the neighborhood and improving the ability to have to live in a neighborhood where you can have in walking distance. We don't really have a city that's walkable, but that would change that for that area to be able to go to those locations that are hopefully will come to the city of Harlingen. I do share in the concerns with the speeding. I know that when I was 15 years old, I remember getting in an accident right there by the church. There wasn't a stop sign there before, and the city, they came out after we had that accident and put that stop sign there. So I know that there is a lot of traffic, so maybe we can do a study so that way there's a happy medium where the residents can take advantage of this opportunity, but at the same time have safety in their neighborhood.
Is your house visible on that?
Yes,
Could you show us?
it's the third house from the business, from the meat market. Would probably be this one. Yes, that one. I have a white patio in the back. 1, 2, 3. So that's the wings, restaurant, the Fundy's, meat market. 1, 2, 3.
And Mr. Carranza, you're looking at towards, if you can come to the mic, you're looking towards on Tyler, right? That
Yes, ma'am.
portion to develop.
Yes, right now, there's currently 3 curb cuts from TxDOT, and we will remove those curb cuts, or that's the plan, and have one center entrance into that, right? So it shouldn't cause traffic to M Street at this point in time.
So the entrance and exit will be on Tyler?
For now, yes. Yeah. Another mention, I like to say, I'm from Hidalgo County, but I think Harlingen is an untapped market. We've, alongside with Mr. Cervantes' help, right, we've developed close to $9 million here in Harlingen, right off 77, on multifamily living. And we're about to develop, maybe, if all goes well, an additional 20 acres here within the next few months as well, which are in the works with Sames Engineering as well. So thank you for your time.
We want some more of the national chains, by the way.
I'm sorry?
If you can bring more national chains, we'll take them too.
Yeah, I mean, we just need that land, right, that can accommodate for that. And Beverly's been very welcoming, everybody here has, and we continue to have more interest here. So hopefully it all continues to work well.
I know that this is going to be a long relationship between the city of Harlingen and with your company, and of course, obviously, with the EDC, and we welcome, bringing in that excitement and injecting more of what Commissioner Pettis wants in that regard. Not everything he wants, but most of what he wants.
We're ready, absolutely. I'm a phone call away for anything.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes.
Is there any other discussion? No? Okay, so then at this time, having no one else to speak for or against the public hearing, we will close the public hearing, and I will ask the city attorney to read the caption, please.
Yes, ma'am. An ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances from the City of Harlingen, request to rezone from multifamily M2 residential district to general retail district for 2.9 acres out of Block 1 of the S.H. Bell subdivision located at the southwest corner of Tyler Avenue and M Street, providing for publication and ordaining other matters related to the foregoing.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Javier. And Craig, yes, if we can definitely get on doing the study for Mr. Garcia and his neighborhood. Okay. Item number 7, public hearing to consider an ordinance on first reading to amend the previously approved Plan Development District Site Plan to adjust lots for residential and multifamily use for 25.33 acres out of land comprised of 10 acres out of Lot 9, 9.99 acres out of Lot 10, 2.67 acres out of Lot 15, and 2.67 acres out of Lot 16, Block 146, San Benito Land and Water Company subdivision located along the north side of Hain Drive, approximately 560 feet east of Wayland Road, and the applicant is Brown Leal. Javier?
Yes, Mayor, Commissioners, this is a plan development district that was approved last summer, but subsequently to that, the developer purchased some property from the irrigation district along the east side. So the site plan changed as a result of his purchase of this additional land. This is the aerial photo of the Phase 2 subdivision. Phase 1 was completed already. I'll show some pictures later on. And it's going to connect to Las Colinas subdivision. It's on Hain. Esperanza Homes is going up over here. They're almost complete. So it's a kind of a happening area of the city. So this shows the proposed layout with the phase 1 completed and how it's going to connect to Golden Bear. So the Golden Bear is proposed to connect this way to Hain. This is the land that was purchased from the irrigation district, so it altered the lots. And this street over here is going to connect on phase 2 to phase 1, and there's going to be a 4-way stop right here. These lots are going to be for multifamily, right here, this one, and the rest are going to be single-family homes. So this shows you the before and after, the land that was purchased. The lot for multifamily was added here. It wasn't there before. This detention area that was here was eliminated, and only this detention area remains. And like I mentioned, there's going to be a 4-way stop and a nice connection to Golden Bear. So when phase 2 is done, there's going to be a really nice street regional connection that the whole community will use, which is Golden Bear.
Why was the detention site eliminated again?
They redid the drainage, and so they were able to comply with the drainage requirements with having this one detention pond, and then all the water is going to go to Emerald Lake.
So it's meeting our current
Yes.
updated standards?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. So here's a photo of phase 1. It's halfway full of houses. A photo of the phase 2 property. Is in line with the comprehensive plan. This went before the Planning and Zoning Commission. One resident showed up with some concerns about Golden Bear extending. After some discussion, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval unanimously.
What were the concerns of the resident?
So this resident lives here, and when they purchased, I guess they didn't realize that the city's plan was to extend Golden Bear. So she had concerns about that, but she did acknowledge that once the street is done, that she will be using it. So it's just, there's a lot of regional benefits to extending Golden Bear for the whole area. And it's in the Torfer plan, right? So when you're looking for a lot for your house and there's a dead-end street, you should always inquire why that's there, right? So that's for public consumption. Always check for, if there's a dead-end street, it's probably because the plan is for the street to be extended in the future.
Understood. Thank you. At this time, we're going to open up the public hearing. Is there anyone that wishes to speak for or against the adoption of this ordinance? Having no one here, we will close the public hearing, and I'll ask the city attorney. Mark, can you read the caption?
Yes, ma'am. An ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Harlingen to amend the previously approved planned development PD district for residential and multifamily purposes on a 25.33 acre out of land comprised of 10 acres out of Lot 9, 9.99 acres out of Lot 10, 2.67 acres out of Lot 15, and 2.67 acres out of Lot 16, Block 146, San Benito Land and Water Company, located at the northeast corner of Hain Drive and Wayland Road.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much, Javier. Item 8, consideration and possible action to authorize staff to contract Adept Facilities and Design utilizing the Interlocal Purchasing System TIPS program for roof repairs to the Downtown Improvement District offices. Javier?
Yes, good evening, Mayor, City Commission. For the record, my name is Javier Mendez, the Parks and Rec Director. And so we wanted to start renovating the DID building, and we wanted to start with the roof so we can get that sealed, and then we can start with the inside demo and the abatement and then the reconstruction. So we went out, we found two contractors, roofing contractors. And so the lowest one was $50,364 to build the roof back as a like-for-like type roof. The only exceptions is that we're going to add an insulation board to the roof, 2-inch insulation board. We're adding 4 scuppers. We're adding a new roof drain and then a new roof hatch, so we can access the roof from inside the building. So the total price for that repair is $50,364. And so in addition to that repair, we're going to have to hire a contractor to do the demo because there's asbestos in the roof. And so that's a separate PO. And so we've already hired a contractor to do that. We're just waiting to hire the roofing contractor.
Excuse me, you already have somebody that's gonna come in and do the demolition?
Yes, sir. They're going to have to do the demo because it has to be a licensed contractor. And then we have a company that's going to do the monitoring for it as well. So there's 3 contractors that are going to be involved in this work. I'm sorry?
You're talking about the existing roof when you say demolition?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so we're going to remove whatever the roofing material is there now. And this material, we did a survey, and it tested positive for asbestos.
He calls it a demolition, but it's not really it's a removal or rehab, not a demo of the building.
Right, so, yeah, that's correct.
So you have to abate the asbestos?
That's correct.
Not take the roof down to
Correct. We're just
to the
removing the
top
material
floor.
and then down to the concrete
Okay,
roof.
okay. Well, that explains it, because
Yes, sorry.
asbestos hoods.
Commissioner,
and
that's the word,
masks.
actually, abatement is the word. Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner.
How fast can they get the job done?
He said within 30 days. On the contract, we gave him 45 days, but he said he can get everything done within 30.
This is for the demolition, correct?
That's for the demo and the reconstruction.
Okay, because I noticed that the quote from, for the 55,000 is only for 30 days.
Right.
That expires in 16 days, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Right, so if we award it tonight, we can issue him a notice to proceed, and he can get up and start working on the project. So we need to allow the person who's doing the abatement to notify the state. He has to give 7 days to the state notice that they're going to be doing the abatement on this project.
I'm not concerned about that portion. I'm concerned about what I look is at the $55,000 to do the roof.
Right.
Because that quote was, that was given to us or in the packet on January the 17th. So that quote is just about to expire.
Correct.
Can we
Right.
get it in writing that they're going to extend it to, let's say, March the 17th?
Well, if we get approval tonight, we can send them the notice to proceed tomorrow.
And then does
lock
the
in the
clock
contract.
start then for
Correct.
30 days?
Yes.
Okay, so there's no time expiring.
Right.
The 30 days is once they get the go-ahead.
Correct.
Yeah,
So
I
if-
think that Commissioner Morales is trying to ensure is that we're not stuck with paying additional funds because of the time. Is that right, Commissioner?
Right, so his quote is good for 30 days. So after we lock him in,
Then we're good.
then we're good.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Do you have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Javier. Do we have a motion to table item number 9?
So move table number 9, please.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Opposed.
Item number 9 is tabled. Item 10, consideration and possible action to reject all bids received for bid number 2023-02 Victor Park Pool Improvements and Projects. Javier?
Yes, Mayor, City Commission, again, my name is Javier Mendez, the Parks and Rec Director, for the record. We went out for bid for this project for the renovation of the pool at Victor Park, and we had three bidders, and the lowest was $538,000, which was South Texas Pools. Our budget for that project was $215,700. So we looked at the numbers, we met with the engineer, and there was no way that we were going to be able to value engineer this project to be able to get it within budget. So our recommendation is that we reject all the bids, and we seek other funding to renovate the pool.
Okay, you were planning on 200 and change, and it came in at 5 what?
538,000.
So about 125% higher.
Right.
Okay.
This is to do exactly, what, Javier?
I'm sorry?
This is for what,
This is for the pool at Victor.
but to do,
What we were going to do is remove the decking and replace all the plumbing back to the pump room. The last grant that we got was to renovate the pump room. We replaced all the pumps and all the filter system. So the third phase was going to run plumbing from the pump room to the pool and replace everything, replace the skimmers, and replace the deck.
and so now we're rejecting these bids, and then the goal is to see if we can get more grant funding for,
Right. So
because
we
of
would-
inflation and,
Right. And see, maybe the cost of material goes down.
okay, thank you.
How long can the pool go without these improvements?
We can open it this next season. I mean, it's operational. We just wanted to replace all the plumbing, the old plumbing, and replace the skimmers.
My suggestion would be to go ahead and apply to the, what's it called, the Texas Parks and Wildlife. I believe they can help us, but unfortunately it's for every 2 years. When was the last time you applied to them for anything?
We applied to them when we did the trail, the Arroyo Trail. That was about 4 years ago.
I thought that was through the Legacy Foundation.
We did, but what happened is that if they would have awarded the project to us, they have to go through the Federal Highway Administration to submit the plans to them, and it was going to take another year just for their review. So we rejected that bid, or the proposal, the application, and we went strictly with Valley Baptist.
Okay, so we can go ahead, since you rejected, we rejected using the Texas Parks and Wildlife, you can apply to them for this project, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's see if we can start that one that way.
Okay.
Thank you, Javier. Do we have a motion to reject the bids?
So moved to reject the bids.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Javier. Item 12, board appointments. Commissioner?
11.
No, we got 11, yeah. Number 11.
Oh, I'm just, sorry.
No problem.
Most important, consideration and possible action to approve an ordinance on second and final reading amending the City of Harlingen's budget for fiscal 2023. Robert?
Good evening, Mayor and City Commissioners. This is our second reading on our budget amendment number 1. We did go in detail in the first reading, and so I will, normally we approve these second readings in consent agenda, but we did have some minor modifications to the budget amendment, so I can kind of briefly go over the differences of what is presented now versus what was presented in the first reading. On the first page, and we can go through the executive summary, and under expenditures for the general fund, we do have $22,500 for completion of the video surveillance, the security and surveillance at the police department. They are in need of $22,500 to complete that project. Then the next item right below that, the $200,000 for the DID building renovation. Initially it was $471,863, and we were requested to reduce that to $200,000 on this budget. If you turn to page 2, towards the bottom, under grant awards, restricted the revenue, the fifth item down is health. we have a new public health infrastructure allocation grant, and the first year, it's a five-year grant, and the first year of that budget is $27,548. And a few items down on police, the FMI Rio Grande Valley Task Force, that's $18,649. And if you turn the page on the next one, the
That's also a
expenditure-
grant.
That is also a grant. These are grant-related expenditures and revenues. So on the next page, you will see corresponding expenditures to those revenues. So you have expenditures for the FBI RGV Task Force of $18,649 and the Public Health Infrastructure Grant of $27,548. And they are bolded and they say new. So that is different than what was presented in the first reading. And those are the changes, the four changes that we had compared to the first reading. So just to recap, our total revenues will increase by, or decrease by $23,471,49, and our expenditures by $27,874,142.
Thanks, Robert.
Staff recommends approval, and this is an ordinance.
So, Gabe, I know that at the last meeting when Robert was going through the expenditures, I know that I asked specifically for the DID, and that's reflected here.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing now that this is the building with asbestos, right, that for the roof needs, is this the same, this is the same building?
Yes, it is. And we did talk about that particular item, and I reminded staff that we only had $200,000, so we had to make it last. So they know that this $58,000 that they're spending now is coming out of that $200,000.
Okay. And they
So-
might need a little more. I mean, I know that I was the one that told you not to spend, but now I just want to make sure, since that's a safety issue, we want to make sure that they've got enough money to at least ensure that there's no asbestos and then do the improvements.
Right.
So could we, if they need to come back and amend, we can do that at a later time?
Yes, ma'am. We can bring it back
Okay.
later and just ask for more
Okay.
money.
All right. I just, because I made kind of, big fuss about it, and now.
Yeah, no, understandable.
So- Okay.
But we can always come back and on another amendment, change that amount.
Should they need additional
Absolutely.
funds? Okay, and that was my only question.
Yeah.
I don't know if is there any discussion?
I have a question. I got to backtrack a little bit. My apologies. Obviously, I missed it last week or 2 weeks ago. The increase on the TML insurance costs for premium.
All right.
Is that for the workman's?
I believe it's property.
What's that?
Property, I believe.
Property.
Mhm.
And it only covers property?
I believe so, yeah. Yes.
Gabe, I'm going to go into this with you, and my concern is, one of the things I asked of you last year, or earlier, was to see what else is out there instead of TML. Compare TML to whatever else is out there, so we can see we can save some money. I do realize that a year ago, or when we set up the budget, we stuck with, I can't think of his name, Roger as a consultant.
Right,
But the only thing that they were instructed, if I'm not mistaken, was just the health portion.
right.
Okay, so what I asked of you before, and what I'm asking of you now, is I'd like to see what else is out there.
Well, what I plan to do, Commissioner, is talk to him in the next few weeks and just ask him if he's got the expertise to do that. If he does, we may have to come back with a revised agreement for him just to continue the health insurance and any other insurance the commission wants to see him work on.
See, because we also have, and you and I had breakfast, listen to that, lunch with an individual, okay? And this whole deal was boiled down to having the safety and the training for employees.
That was for workers' comp.
That was part of workman's comp.
Right.
But the thing is, trying to get somebody like that, or use or implement what TML does for us, to the most, to the best of our ability, so we can reduce our insurance costs across the board.
Right. I'll have to check with Roger, Commissioner. If he doesn't have those expertise, we'll have to go out for bids.
This person obviously is Group 1 licensed, which is life, health, disability, et cetera. Group 2 is a whole different license, and that's property casualty. So he may or may not be Group 2 licensed.
We'll find out.
Which means we'll have to do some RFQs and find somebody for Group 2.
We can do that.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Robert. And now, finally, board appointments.
No, ma'am.
None for you, Commissioner?
None.
Commissioner Bettis?
Yes, I have one. I have one for the Youth Advisory Board. My initial pick is a good thing. She's in Washington DC now as an intern. So I need to choose somebody else. So I'm going to put Abby Shoemaker as my pick for the Harlingen Teen and Young Advisory Board. And Gabe, how's it going? Because I know last time we spoke, we talked about putting it on the agenda to switch it. I think, what's his name?
That'll be on.
Daniel.
That'll be on for the next meeting.
Okay,
To make
cool.
that change. And then, Commissioner, I'm going to try to schedule a meeting with whatever board members we have and see who's able to show up later this month.
Okay, and I would ask again, Mike, I know I ask you every commission meeting, if you can choose one of our promising young teenagers to participate in this board, I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Would you like me to find you a pick?
Sure.
All right, I'll do
Find
that.
me people.
I will put that on my to-dos. Just one thing on these boards for Amanda, on the audit committee, BT Vargas, it says they're pending, but I know that that's already been finalized and he was at the meeting, so if we can just make that correction. And that'll do it, ladies and
I have
gentlemen.
one
Thank you
question.
so much.
Real quick, are these like updated like to right now?
Oh,
Like,
yes,
do they
yeah.
reflect the ones that we made last meeting too?
They're updated every 2 weeks, sir. I
Oh.
mean, if you make appointments, then of course, you have to go through the process to see if they qualify. Once they qualify, we put them in there. But normally, yes, if there's changes, they're updated, and
Okay,
yes.
okay, thank you.
So do we have a motion to approve
So
Mr.
moved.
Bettis's, Commissioner Bettis's
Second.
appointment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much, and that is our meeting. We are adjourned. Have a wonderful night.